on. Welcome to another edition of News and Views from Marshall on Marshall Cable TV, Studio 1. We've had an exciting week this week, and it's about to pick the pace up a little bit because now we're going to kick it up and talk rodeo. That's right, good old professional rodeo that we've seen every year for the last 20 years at the Lyon County Fair. With me today is Dan Johnson. Dan is chairman of the rodeo. He's also a member of the fair board, and he's also a big rodeo fan himself. So he's going to tell us all about what's happening, about what's going to be coming up, and what we can expect to see. Dan, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so 20th year, how many cowboys do you think will come?
The last 7 or 8 years, we've been averaging over 200 cowboys a year.
Oh goodness, that's a good number.
Yeah, they compete. They only compete one night, so they're not all here at one night.
Okay.
Most of them will be here on Thursday night. We do the regular performance, and because we only run 15 contestants in each event during the performance.
Okay.
If there's more than 30 bull riders, then we'll run a section of slack on Thursday night after the rodeo is over.
Oh, okay. All right. So if you're registered, you're going to perform. It's just how many people are there.
Right.
Most of the people know that and kind of hang around.
There's getting to be more people that hang around on Thursday night. Of course,
Okay.
They announced that slack is going to be run after the rodeo is done.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we're talking Thursday night, Friday night. In case you're not aware, that would be August 10th and August 11th, because the fair runs August 9th through the 13th.
Correct.
So, and it's a free fair. You don't have to pay to park. You get into the fair free. You're going to have to purchase a ticket for the rodeo, though, and that's going to be, and then whatever you want to eat and drink or do for entertainment after that, that's all on top of everything else. So it's still a pretty inexpensive evening for an awful lot of fun.
Right.
So, okay, so we'll have 200 contestants that'll be coming. And now the PRCA, is that Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association?
Yes.
Okay. The used to be the old RCA.
Right. It used to be the Rodeo Cowboys Association, and then there was actually two associations out there. There was a Rodeo Cowboy Association and then another one, and they combined into one to form the Pro Rodeo Cowboy Association.
I just remember, and I have this flashback every once in a while, when I was a kid, in my hometown, we used to ride our bikes out the fairground, and there was an old dilapidated chute out there that we had getting used for a few times for a rodeo. We'd be out there playing around on that, and then we'd all pretend we're in a rodeo. And all my buddies, wow, they're bull riders and bronco riders and calf ropers, and I never wanted to do any of that. I wanted to be the announcer. So I was always the announcer, and I developed quite a stick for announcing these guys. I had great names for the animals they were riding, and I gave them all big, dangerous, bad-sounding names, and we'd go out there and entertain ourselves for hours.
Well, and the rodeo announcer is a very integral and important part of the rodeo because it's his job to help keep things filled in. There's always that break in the action between your bronc riders, or your bull riders, or calf ropers, barrel racers, whatever. And we just need somebody that can kind of keep filling that gap, work with the clown. And this year we're very fortunate to have Kelly Kenny coming back again. He did our rodeo for probably several of the first 12 years. And then due to scheduling conflicts, we were unable to get him. And we went away from him, and now this last year we said, it'd be kind of nice to bring Kelly back. And we worked with our stock contractor, Barnes Rodeo, out of Cherokee, Iowa, and they contacted him. They contact all the announcers and the specialty acts and the clowns and stuff, and they said, yeah, he can work it in the schedule. So we've got Kelly coming back, and he loves coming to Marshall. He's got a lot of friends here in Marshall, and he's a real likable guy. He's a super announcer.
Sounds like he's got quite a history. I read his press release on his bio, and he's sure done a lot of things.
Yes, he has, and he did a stint working with Ram Trucks as a spokesman for them.
Oh.
And going around and representing Ram Trucks at different events and stuff. And he has worked with them out in Las Vegas, and he can literally stand out there in Las Vegas outside the national finals rodeo outside Thomas and Mack and talk nonstop for 2 hours. I mean, he doesn't keep repeating himself. It just keeps going. I mean, he's just fun to listen to. He's a great announcer. And, you know, the announcers, they've got to know the Cowboys. They've got to know the stock. They've got to know where they're at. They've got to be able to read the crowd, be able to feel the crowd.
Sure.
And he does just a tremendous job of doing that. He keeps track of these Cowboys. You know, he knows, you know, who the contestants are each night. He goes and he does a little bit of research on them, finds out, you know, where they're standing, you know.
Well, he's pretty well versed. He's been an athlete. He's been a scholar. He's done officiating on the college level. So he's had his fingers in a lot of things. And it looks like now he's kind of drawing that all together into one. And
Yep.
that, you know, a good announcer makes a good show.
Yep.
I know every year I go down to Slayton to the draft horse show. And the announcer that's there, been there every year, does a nice little job keeping people informed. It makes you feel like you've really been to a horse show before, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Kelly brings to it. You know, he did compete as a team roper at one time, and you know, so he's kind of got the feel for what it is. He's around these guys. You know, he's not with the same contractor every weekend, but he's around these guys. He gets to know them. He's got a rapport with them, and you know, he's a good guy.
Good. That's good to know. It's first class show, first class announcer. You got it all. So that's good to look forward to. Okay, so what have we got for events that we can look forward to at the rodeo?
Well, we run the standard events. We do the bareback riding. We do saddle broncs, bulls, calf roping, team roping, barrel racing, steer wrestling, and we can't forget the little mutton busters.
Little mutton busters, always great entertainment.
Yes, they are. Those little kids, you know, they're from 4 to 9 years old, and you know, they're all excited to do it. And then they get out there and they look up and they see all them people sitting up there, and that usually turns a few away, but we get them out there.
You get them out there. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So, just a question that came to mind. Do you know of any guys that are in the circuit today, and maybe they're too old already because I don't know how long mutton busting's been around, but anybody that started out in the mutton busting and are riding today?
Oh, I'm sure there's a few out there. You know, a lot of the contestants today grew up in rodeo families. Mm-hmm. You know, their dad, their older brothers, maybe their grandpa. There's a family out in Milford, Utah, the Wright family, that, I mean, when it comes to saddle bronc riding, they're right there. I think right now there are four of them in the top 15 in the world standings.
Okay.
And their last name is Wright. There's a father, he's got 2 sons, and then there's a brother in there. And the dad of this whole thing, the patriarch of the whole, is still there. He's standing behind the chutes at the national finals to watch those people come out.
Okay. Great history right there. Yep. Okay. So, all right. So we got 15 riders in each event.
Yep.
For the main show.
Yep.
And if you got more than 15, they ride afterwards.
They ride in the slack on Thursday night after the first performance is done.
Okay. All right. What else you want to tell us about the rodeo?
Well, one of the big things that we do out here, and I'm really proud of, is something that I started after I became committee chairman, was our Tough Enough to Wear Pink auction. We've partnered with a couple different people here in town. Currently, we're partnered up with Prairie Home Hospice. Mm-hmm. And we hold an auction on Friday night. And we auction off, we have 3 items that we're going to auction off. We do a buckle. It's the same buckle that the Cowboys get, only instead of it having a bareback bronc or a bull rider or something on it, it has that pink bow in the center. And this year, the buckle that we chose is actually going to have pink right in the buckle.
Okay.
So it's going to be a very pretty buckle. We auction that off. We auction off a trip to the National Finals Rodeo.
And that's in
Las Vegas.
Okay.
And this year, the National Finals runs from December 7th through the 16th.
Oh, gosh.
And this year, we've kind of bumped it up a little bit, and we're going to offer 2 nights, 2 tickets for 2 nights at the National Finals Rodeo, and a gift certificate from Southwest Tour and Travel for $125 to help cover their either their airfare or their hotel out there.
Okay.
They just have to book through Southwest Tour and Travel.
Uh-huh.
And it's a pretty neat little deal. It's quite an experience to get out there. We used to just do 1 night at the rodeo, and my wife and I have been going out there now for a few years. And the first time you're out there, your eyes are so big. If you've never been to Vegas before, and if you've never been to national finals, I mean, your eyes are the size of saucers. You're just trying to get the feel of everything that's going on out there.
Sure. Yeah.
And I said, and my wife and I were talking about it, and she said, if we could give them 2 nights, and I said, yeah, that would really work. Give them 2 nights at the rodeo. The first night they're trying to figure out what they're doing, and the next night they know what they're
They know what they're doing. Yeah.
Because it's awesome. I mean, and then we have a local business that is donating an AR-15 rifle that we will auction off.
Oh boy.
So we have 3 items that we auction off at the rodeo.
All the proceeds go to Prairie Home Hospice?
100% of the proceeds go to Prairie Home Hospice.
Well, that's good. Good cause, good prizes, a good event, a good time.
Yep.
And it's all out at the Lyon County Fair, August 10th and 11th.
It's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock in the main grandstand.
Yep.
I keep telling people, don't got to pay to get into the park. Don't have to pay to get into the fair, but you are going to have to buy a ticket to get into the grandstand.
Right. And tickets will be available in advance at Hy-Vee and Marshall Radio. And we're trying something new this year, and we don't have it up on our website yet, but we will have online ticket sales also.
Oh.
Our rodeo contractor has hired a publicist to help doing publicity and stuff for him. Mm-hmm. And through that gal, we are able to set up an online ticket system.
Okay. Should probably mention here too, if we're going a little too fast for you, or you're only catching part of what we're talking about, LyonCountyFair.com is the website for the fair. And it's really a good website. I've been working off it as we go here. And you want to see what's going on at the rodeo, you touch rodeo, and it brings up all the information. Looking at the tickets now, what everything costs, and like Dan says, there's going to be a website or a place that you can buy them online, but it tells you right here, for advanced tickets, stop by Hy-Vee or KMHL Radio. You got advanced admission and regular price admissions. 5 and under are free, ages 6 to 12, then adults 13 on up. So anything you need to know, you can find out right there on that website.
Yep, that's something that we've had some people on our fair board working really hard this year to kind of redo that website, to kind of update it. You kind of get stuck in a rut. You get something set up, and you just go in there and keep updating it. Well, this year we decided we needed to do a little bit more than just update the dates, so we've kind of changed it up a little bit. All the forms are there. The mutton busting forms are there if you want to get your kids signed up for mutton busting. We always seem to have plenty, which is good.
I could try the mutton busting because my feet would touch the ground.
Yeah, that would work.
Starts getting too wild, I'll just step off.
Yeah. Yeah, some of those, a couple years ago, we had quite a little mud out there during one of the performances, and there was a mud puddle right outside of the bucking chute that we brought the sheep out of. And there was 3 brothers that went that night. And those 3 brothers, I don't think they were so interested in riding the sheep as to see which one could get furthest into that mud puddle. But they had fun.
They had fun.
They had fun, and they'll be back. And it's been 20 years, and we've learned a lot about rodeo. We've learned a lot about how to deal with rodeo. We've gained a reputation up here for putting on a good rodeo. The cowboys like to come here. That's why we get over 200 cowboys every year.
That's a nice number, 200.
Yep. The current reigning world champion bareback rider won our rodeo 4 years ago.
Okay.
Tim O'Connell from Zwingle, Iowa.
Okay. How many rodeos will a serious rider go to a year?
Well, for example, a bareback rider can count the prize money from 100 rodeos.
Okay.
Tim O'Connell hit 5 rodeos last weekend that I'm aware of.
So he gets off of one horse, jumps into his truck, and heads to the next one.
Yep. Yep. And if he can't drive there, he tries to catch a plane. You know, these guys, they fly. I mean, the miles that these rodeo cowboys put on is tremendous. They will be at our rodeo Thursday night. They'll be someplace else on Friday, someplace else on Saturday. That's their weekend.
Okay.
Then they'll take, you know, Sunday to kind of recoup, and they'll go work a regular job Monday through Wednesday or Monday through Thursday afternoon, most of these guys.
Okay.
Or maybe they're working back home on the ranch or whatever. I mean, and then come the weekend, they're on the road and they're rodeoing again.
So even though they're professional, they're not necessarily self-supporting.
No, and they pay to play.
Oh, okay.
It costs them an entry fee to enter at our rodeo, or any rodeo.
Are all the entry fees the same, like bareback and bull riding are the same
Yes.
amount?
Yes, the rough stock fees, I think they're, for our rodeo because of this, and it varies with the amount of prize money that's guaranteed, but ours being kind of down towards the lower end, I think it's a $50 entry fee. So they pay $50 to come and get on that horse or that bull for 8 seconds. And they're not guaranteed to get that $50 back.
No. And they're not guaranteed the 8 seconds either.
No. You know, if they don't stay on, they get nothing. And even if they stay on, if they don't score in the top, you know, 3 or 4, and it depends on how many riders we get, how far down they pay at the top 3. But if we get a lot of riders, barrel racers, usually we get enough barrel racers, they'll pay out 10 places.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's kind of a sliding scale type of deal. Their money goes back into prize money.
Okay, we're talking all the big events in the rodeo, and we've been talking about cowboys. How about cowgirls? Obviously, you got the barrel racing and that. What else would be there for the cowgirls?
Barrel racing is the only thing currently in the PRCA, and they are all members of the Women's Professional Rodeo Association, the WPRA.
Okay.
And they actually gave us an award last year, and it's the second time that our rodeo has received an award for the most improved arena.
2016 Great Lakes Circuit Most Improved. Lyon County Fair, PRCA Rodeo,
Yep.
Marshall, Minnesota. That's a nice plaque.
Yep, we received this last December. I was very proud of it. And I'm very proud of the 2 gentlemen that made this possible.
Yeah.
I had a couple family members that came in and helped on Friday. Those of you that were in Marshall last year realized that we got 3 inches of rain Thursday night.
Yeah.
Between Thursday night's performance and Friday morning. And I got down here, my son and I came down to the fair. He dropped me off so I could do a little bit on the radio. And then he went out to the rodeo arena. He comes back, and it was during a commercial break on the rodeo, and he says to me, he says, "When's Lars get here?" I says, "Why?" He says, "We got to have more equipment." And I live at Russell, so we'd only had 3/10 of an inch of rain. I didn't realize, you know, yet how much rain they'd gotten in Marshall. He said, "The arena's this deep." And I said, "What do you mean it's this deep?" I walked out there and it just about went over the top of my boots.
Goodness.
And we started in about 8:30 Friday morning, and we literally scraped off the top 4 inches of that arena. Just got it out of the way and started working that arena and just kept working it and dragging it to get it dried down and get it back in shape. We worked from 8:30 in the morning until we finished at 6 o'clock that night. Performance was at 7.
6 o'clock, and then the show started at 7.
Yep.
Well, you must have done a good job because nobody complained.
And the ladies of the WPRA, they voted it and said that we were the most improved arena. Because there was pictures out there on Facebook of what our arena looked like at 8 o'clock in the morning. And it wasn't good.
Through no fault of your own. You were the most improved.
Right.
You know.
And that's what it takes. I mean, that rodeo, it goes on rain or shine.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that stops a rodeo is if lightning starts bouncing off the bucking chutes.
Yep. I suppose.
We stopped our rodeo out here one time, right at the end of the barrel racing and before the bull riding, because there was a storm coming in out of the northwest. And it was starting to lightning pretty good, and we, you know.
Yeah.
We got a hold of the stock contractor, and it says, we got to stop. We got to, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, let's finish the barrels. So we finished the barrel racers. The last barrel racer they have 2 electronic eyes that record the time for the barrel racers. The last barrel racer of the 15 had just crossed those electronic eyes when the wind blew them down. And we just stopped. And once you start a rodeo, you have to just wait until it and continue when the storm breaks.
Sure.
So the bull riding took place about an hour later. There wasn't a lot of people left around, but those that were had a lot of fun.
Kind of like a rain delay in a baseball game.
Yep, same thing. I mean, that rodeo goes on no matter what.
Yeah, sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes it's an hour and 15 minutes.
Exactly.
But you do go on.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there's a lot to do out at the fair this year, including the rodeo that we've been talking about. There's great entertainment that goes on, too. The hoop barn, that's where a stage is set up that you can, with tables underneath there, you can go pick up a sandwich to eat and something to drink and come over and sit down, and you can enjoy entertainment like Kayla Daniels, who's been there before, and a local entity that everybody sure enjoys hearing sing. Friday night, of course, everybody's favorite local band, Hicktown Mafia, will be there, and that always brings a lot of people. Saturday night, Roxbury Band, another local band that's been around a long time, and they've all got a big following, so they'll be there. These are free, by the way. There's no charge for this. And then Sunday afternoon from 1 to 4, a Spanish band, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Escuadron Musical. It's a Mexican group, or a Spanish group, I should say, and that's always nice, interesting music to listen to. So there's plenty to go to, plenty to do for nothing. So you can get in free, you can park free, you can roam the fairgrounds free, you can see some free entertainment, and then there's other shows too that are available. You got the dog training exhibits where the dogs do the leaping and everything. And
We don't have the dogs back this year.
oh, I thought they
We
were.
have a 911 memorial coming.
That's right. The 911 Memorial will be here.
And that is sponsored by all the fire departments in Lyon County. And one of our former fair board members found the information for that, and he got in touch with Mark Clythe. And between the two of them, they got her done.
Okay.
And they will be here. I think they're coming in on Thursday, so they'll be setting up Thursday and then open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this is an exhibit that contains pictures and artifacts or whatever from the 911 experience, and we all know what that means to this country.
Yes, we do.
That was quite a day.
Yes, we do. And you'll see that semi come through town when it comes through town.
Yes, it will be escorted through town. So,
You know, so you got the 911 or 911, I should say, exhibit. You got the Milking Cow exhibit, the Relco Enrichment Center. It's always an interesting to go through. I would assume they probably have some live birthing going on.
yes, they'll have pretty much. It's pretty much the same. You know, they try to bring in some new displays every year, kind of trying to tie that, you know, that farm to, you know, they call it farm to fork, but you know that where it starts at before it gets to your table.
Yes.
You know, it's not just at Hy-Vee. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it before it gets to Hy-Vee or Walmart or wherever you buy your groceries or your meats or whatever.
Certainly is.
It's a very educational thing. Really very popular at the Relco Enrichment Center.
Okay.
You know, the baby calves and pigs and.
Yeah. Then the 3 shows a night, Friday and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the BMX stunt bike show. You know, you think rodeo is dangerous. These guys at these bikes are kind of dangerous too.
Yeah, you got to have just a little bit of a different mental set when you do some of that stuff. I mean, you know, they freestyle with those bikes off of ramps. I mean, they're completely human powered. I mean, there's no batteries, no motors, no nothing. I mean, they catch a lot of air. They do a lot of neat tricks in the air. Yeah, I mean, if you're up there 10, 15 feet in the air and you miss it coming down, it's.
You're 10, 15 feet in the air upside down.
Yeah. You know, so if you don't stick your landing,
Yeah.
it's not going to be just a little owie.
And of course, for the kids, we got the pedal pull.
Yes.
That's always another.
Ever popular pedal pull.
Do you have to have your own tractor?
No. We have a company, you might say, that comes in, and they have different size tractors for different age groups.
Okay.
You know, so they look like regular little model tractors that you'd buy at an implement dealer or at a toy store or something, you know. but they've been modified a little bit as far as the gear ratios have been changed. So the older you get, the less of a gear ratio you've got. So you're more 1-to-1.
Yeah.
It gets a little harder for them to pedal. Of course, then you're getting bigger and the tractor's getting smaller.
Pretty soon your knees are out like that, and
Yep.
you're starting to go, okay. You know, it really is a great fair that Lyon County has.
Yeah.
And it's just a good thing to have. It's the only bad part about the fair is it signifies the end of summer.
Exactly. You know that I grew up at the fair. I was in 4-H. My family was in 4-H, and yeah, that always signified summer's done.
Yep. Yep.
Fair's over, and school starts. But you know, if you've never been to the Marshall Fair, it's a great opportunity to come on out. Come on out, walk around through the fair, walk through the barns. You know, ask questions if you got questions about, you know, the pigs or the sheep or the goats or the llamas or the horses or the cattle. You know, there's 4-H kids around. They'll answer your questions for you.
Yeah. There's another show we've done too now that's running on the Lyon County Fairgrounds. BC Franson, another one of the fair board members, was on. And she explained why she became a fair board member. And that's because the year before there was no cotton candy at the fair.
Right.
And she says there will be cotton candy at the fair this year, or she'll at least know the reason why.
Exactly.
I thought, that's dedication. She paid to join the Ag Society, got on the board just to make sure there's cotton candy.
Exactly. That's what she said that first night was, why was there no cotton candy? And we said, you know.
Nobody ever thought of it.
Yeah, we didn't check. We didn't have a checklist to see, you know, make sure they had everything. So.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, Dan, thank you very much.
Thank you for having
coming
me.
on the show today. It's very enlightening. We're all getting excited. We're all ready. August 9th through the 13th at the Lyon County Fairgrounds. The big rodeo is on the 10th and the 11th at 7 p.m. Got over 200 cowboys coming in, and of course they got the silent auction with
Well, it's a live auction, actually.
or live auction. Yeah, I said silent. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But you know, they got a nice rifle, they got a nice trip, and that they'll be, and a buckle that they'll be giving away, personalized. All proceeds going to Prairie Home Hospice.
Correct.
So that's worth part of the price of admission also. So it's something you just don't want to miss. It's a great way to close out your summer and then start concentrating on getting ready for school.
Yeah, and you know, rodeo and the fair is truly family entertainment.
Yes, it is. It really is.
You know, that's the one thing that we as a fair board, when we're putting the fair together, we stress that we want to keep it a family-oriented event. And you know, if we see something out there that we feel might be offensive to people, we will go and visit with that vendor and ask them if they can remove that item or, you know, change their display or do something.
That's good, because quality family entertainment is what we're looking for.
Right. You know, and we don't want people to be embarrassed when they bring their children out there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it's all about, you know, spending family time.
Yeah. Well, if anybody says to you, did you see that show on the rodeo on Marshall Studio One TV? And you didn't, well, you can find us. We're very easy to find these shows. You can get us by going to our website, marshallstudio1tv.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on our own website. You can find us on the Marshall City Council's website. And then you can just go down and pick whatever episode you want to watch and watch the entire episode. We're on the 2 local access channels twice a day, and then several more times over the weekend. So to not be informed about this year's fair, that's because you're not paying attention, and you don't want to miss the good time that's in store for everybody at the Lyon County Fair. So that's today's show. We hope to see you all at the fair.